I'm Claire. If you're watching this, then you might be wondering where I've been. Truth is, I was just a little busy with my real life stuff. It's been a wild couple of weeks. And if this is your first time here, then all you need to know about me is that I have no clue what I'm talking about, but I'm going to talk about it anyway. And today, about 2 weeks late, maybe a little more, we're going to talk about the World Series. Because I did actually write a script. At the time that the World Series was happening, it's just too many things happened immediately after the World Series, and I lost track of time. And also, I was a little depressed for a little bit there, so, filming just wasn't happening. Anyway, if you'll remember, in my second ever YouTube video, I spent a lot of time gloating about how the Dodgers never, ever win the World Series, and how they were going to choke again this year. I might have been a little wrong about that, as it turns out. I think part of it was that I was really blinded by my desire to not ever see the Dodgers win again in my lifetime. And I think another little part of it was if the Dodgers hadn't played the Yankees, the series would have been a lot closer. But the Dodgers got lucky. They played the Yankees. In all of my original predictions, I had forgotten to take into account the Yankees' incredible ability to choke in the playoffs. I think the Dodgers scouting report on the Yankees sums it up best. Talent over fundamentals. If you put the ball into play, they will self-inflict harm. And they weren't wrong about that. But let's pause for a second, go back to the start of the series, and ask ourselves, who did I actually end up rooting for? Obviously, I didn't root for anyone. But who did I end up rooting against more? And what I decided in Game 1, which I did watch, even though I said I would not be watching the series, but I did watch Game 1 and 3 out of 4 of the other games. But what I decided in Game 1 was that I would root against the team whose manager pissed me off more. Because, and this is my fault, I pay attention to National League baseball way more than American League baseball, and the Giants just didn't play the Yankees, haven't played the Yankees much in the last few years, just because, they don't play the AL East all the time. So, I just maybe wasn't aware at how bad Boone is as a manager. And I know what you're going to say. He's 12th in all-time win percentage. Yeah, because he has massive talent backing him up. You think if he had a team like last year's Giants that he'd be in the World Series? No, because he makes poor managerial decisions. And let's discuss them, because they did annoy me. So in Game 1, I picked the game up about halfway through, but what I did know was that Garrett Cole had been pitching a gem. Beautifully pitched game, from what I understood. And the few innings I saw Cole pitch were excellent, up until he got into a little bit of a spot of trouble, and then Boone inexplicably pulled him. I wasn't on board with that decision. I thought Cole was doing a fine job of shutting down the Dodgers. And given that the next guy loaded the bases, I might have been right about that one. Although, in all fairness to the next guy, they did get out of that jam, so no harm, no foul, right? And then, Roberts had his own moments. I thought pinch hitting a righty for a righty so that they could bat against a righty was, just not the decision I would have made. But it wasn't a decision that cost Roberts the game. Actually, I think there's only one guy who cost his team the game with his managerial decisions, and that would be Boone. The Yankees had one run on the Dodgers. The bases were empty, and Shohei Ohtani is up to bat. Late in the game, I personally would have walked him. I yelled at the TV, "Walk him." The Yankees pitched to him, and Shohei hit a double that careened off the wall that was misplayed in the outfield and ended up on third base so that Mookie could drive him in with a sac fly on the next play. Not exactly what I would have done. If I had been the manager, I would have walked him and then pitched to Mookie. Because at that point of game one, at that point of the series, Shohei was still on fire. Like, he had just come off from a very good NLCS. So why would you pitch to him? I just don't get it. I don't get it. And, because of that, the game went into extras. The Dodgers won in extras, and I feel like the Yankees probably could have avoided that. So, reluctantly, very reluctantly, and also because the Dodgers won game one and I wanted the series over as fast as possible, I was hoping the Dodgers would at least make it quick. I didn't want the series going 7 games because the Fox Sports commentators would have been so insufferable, and frankly, I just wanted Fox to lose money on this, or at least not to make extra money on this. So I guess we can thank the Dodgers for that. But there was one moment, actually there were a couple of moments, but there was one moment where I really looked at what was happening and thought, wow, neither the Yankees nor their fans deserve this series win. And with the fans, that was Game 4, the first inning, the infamous Gleyber Torres pop-up where 2 Yankees fans tried to wrestle Mookie's glove off of his hands. I'm sure Yankees fans would like to claim that those 2 fans are not representative of their entire population, but we'll just leave it there. But now let's get to where that Dodgers scouting report really, really nailed the Yankees. More talent than fundamentals. If you put the ball into play, they will self-inflict harm. And I think there is no better description of the fifth inning of Game 5 than that scouting report. Because that was a comedy of errors. That was just. It was watching 9 guys forget how to play baseball in the same inning. First, you had Aaron Judge forgetting how to play center field. Fundamentals. You keep your eye on the ball when you're catching a flyout. I play right field in my softball league, and I'm not very good at it, but even I know that if there's a ball coming towards me, I gotta have my eye on it until it's in my glove. My problem just happens to be I have terrible depth perception, it turns out. It's not great when you're trying to catch a flyout. But we also don't have many lefties in our league, so no big deal. I, unlike Aaron Judge, do not play for a Major League Baseball team in the World Series. And then you have the routine ground out to first, soft little soft on the ground, straight to Rizzo, or should be straight to Rizzo, except a few things happen. Rizzo overran it a little bit, and then he should have flipped it to Cole, who would have gone and tagged the base before Mookie could get there. That is what usually happens in that exact play. But Cole was nowhere to be found. Cole was just kind of standing a little off the mound, watching Rizzo, and not saying anything, not communicating, and certainly not running to the bag he was supposed to step on. Routine play that Cole and Rizzo are capable of. In fact, there's a great John Boy video that dissects this exact play, and they found an almost identical play. Soft grounder to first base, almost exactly where Mookie's was, that Rizzo picks up, flips to Cole, who steps on the bag. Which, cheers to John Boy for doing that research and finding a play that was almost identical to that one. But in the 5th inning of Game 5, it's like Cole forgot how to talk to Rizzo, and Rizzo had already overrun the ball a little bit, and now all of a sudden he has to sprint to first base to try to tag out Mookie, or to try to force out Mookie. And Mookie's fast. Yeah, this got very rambly. We're gonna edit out a lot of it. Point is, the 5th inning was a comedy of errors, and it was at that exact moment that I knew that I did not need to watch any more of the game, because the game was over and the Dodgers had won the World Series. Yes, I know there were still about 4 innings left. I didn't need to watch any of the game. The game was over and the Dodgers had won the series. Excellent scouting report, though. But to be completely honest, as much as the scouting report is a reflection of the players and their play, I actually see it as a reflection of Boone and his strength as a manager. Because being a manager isn't just making decisions during the game. It's making sure that your guys know the fundamentals of the sport you're playing. And Boone hasn't done that. So, I don't know how he's 12th on that list of all-time win percentage. But watching that series, it was clear to me that it was not on the strength of his own talent. Because he lacks both the talent and the fundamentals as a manager. From a pure baseball perspective, and I realize I am biased, but from a pure baseball perspective, and not as someone who cannot stand the Yankees, it's a damn shame that the Yankees are being managed by a yes man who only exists to please the ownership and doesn't exist to win baseball games, apparently. Because that team is so damn talented that if they had maybe a little more discipline, definitely a little more of the fundamentals, and a good manager, they would be a dynasty. But just goes to show you, money can't buy you a dynasty. And I sincerely hope that's true about the Dodgers. After all, the Dodgers have Roberts. Roberts might have won in the series this time, but we'll see about dynasty. Still got to win a couple more for that to happen, and I'm not entirely convinced. This year, the Dodgers were lucky that they played the Yanks, and Roberts got his team to clear the low bar of not committing basic errors. But against another team that made the playoffs this year, they might not have been able to survive the slumps that Ohtani and Muncy and Lux and Smith all fell into. And yeah, Freddie was incredible. Actually, you know what? Freeman was terrific. I cannot say a bad word about his performance. 7 straight home runs in World Series games is an incredible, incredible streak, and he absolutely deserved that MVP. But against a team that maybe doesn't commit so many unforced errors, is a Freddie Freeman performance really going to win the series? Maybe, but we'll never know because they played the Yankees and the Yankees completely fell apart. Anyway, I'm going to wrap this up because talking about the Dodgers-Yankee World Series kind of depresses me. And frankly, the only thing that makes me kind of happy is that Fox lost out on $100 million because the Dodgers cut it short at Game 5. And I'm also glad that the Dodgers didn't sweep because then that's the only narrative we would have heard for 2 weeks. 5 games, no one can claim that it was a great series. I'm completely okay with this outcome, even if the Dodgers did win. And Fox, if you didn't want me feeling like this, maybe your commentators shouldn't have said A for effort to the guy who tried to steal Mookie Betts' glove. Don't encourage fan interference. Don't encourage assholes. Maybe take a page out of Colbert's book. A for a-hole, jackasses. But yeah. I'm not going to thank the Dodgers for ending it quickly, but I am glad that it was over quickly. And also glad that they did not sweep the Yanks, because that would have also been insufferable. I guess Roberts isn't that good, huh? And neither is Boone. Although, who knows? Who knows? Maybe if Boone's team had the talent of the Dodgers, they would have won the World Series. We'll never know. Maybe talent does trump fundamentals sometimes. I don't think so, but I also don't know what I'm talking about, especially when it comes to baseball.